Good morning. This week we've been thinking a little bit harder about something that has become much more of a subject for us within these past 3 years of living here. And we will tell you a little bit more about that after you watch the intro. Today we have something special for you. We've concerned the more recent part of our lives with learning German, and we thought we'd share our process with you and what it's been like. So in this video, you'll see what this process was like for us, how long we've been learning German, and the challenges that we've found learning German. And keep in mind that our native language is English.
But first, we have to give a big shout out to our new patron. They just joined us the other day, like last week. A little after shooting our chocolate video. So we're super excited to have you on board. It feels really great to have more support, and you guys really crushed it last week and the week before with subscribing. Like, we just have so many. I don't know what to do with them all. So yeah, thank you to everyone that's subscribed and that's been supporting us and that's been commenting in all of our videos. It's been super cool to see so much interaction.
I have been learning German since the 10th grade. And so for me, that was 2010. I started with some online courses, and my first experiences were I kind of thought articles were irrelevant and they didn't really matter anyways because they weren't necessary and we didn't have them in English. And so I continued learning German in college and then had a semester abroad where I really learned like A1. So I had to start actually at ground zero in my abroad course and to B1, I think. And then over the years, I've taken other courses in Germany, and I just took my C1 course in 2018, and now I'm working to get my C2. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's tricky.
Usually it's considered that you can have a full conversation with someone around the B2 level, and then everyone going to like university and stuff is expected to have the C1 to C2 level. So I had just started my A2 course. Since me and Ellie have been here 3 years, I've learned most of the German that I have just by listening to people and being around coworkers. But now I'm actually learning it more formally. So next week I get to start my formal A2 course. I'm very nervous, but it'll be exciting. But I have to agree with Ellie. The hardship of learning the German language is definitely the articles, which is basically in English the word the. But in German we have 3 words, der, die, and das, from masculine, feminine, and neutral forms. And even that form changes 3 more times across each of those. So there's really like 9.
It's like, we should count this out. Yeah, you need to know all of the different forms basically if you want to speak correct and proper German. And that has been a struggle for me, and I'm still keeping up with it to this day.
Another big one for me specifically, a lot of German words share like the same root. For example, there's like the word Freizeit, which means like free time, and you can also break that up into just frei and Zeit, which obviously mean like free and time. So like obviously you put them together and it's really simple, but there are also other German words that aren't so simple, where it'll seem like 2 base words put together, but they'll have kind of totally different meanings. So like another real simple one for me at my low level is there's the word zwischen, which means in between, but if you say inzwischen, it means by now. So adding just 2 letters to the beginning of the word kind of changes it completely, which makes it really confusing because you think you know what a word is, or you might think you have an idea, but you're totally wrong.
Oh, this is a good one. So for example, there's the word Leiter, and that means ladder. So if you say die Leiter, it means ladder. And if you say der Leiter, it means the boss. You can say boss or ladder, and the only thing that's different is the article of them. It's crazy with the articles. That's probably the scariest thing about learning German.
Something else that you might be used to wherever you're from is having different like dialects or like accents from within your own country. So even in the US we have kind of different ways of speaking depending on what regions of the country you're from. I wasn't very used to thinking about it. But in Germany they have that too. And it's most obvious between like southern Germany and northern Germany, where you can even have totally different words mean the same thing, just based on what region you're in. The south also has more of a like harsher tone, right?
They speak differently in some way. I think that's the first time learning German that I've ever had a problem like I needed to like really focus on listening to them. One of the other things that's been really hard for me, and it still is terribly hard for me to this day, is prepositions. So like in English, I mean like if you say in the house, like in is a preposition, or if you say on the road, then on is a preposition. And so just like in English, there's certain prepositions that mean certain things, and it's the same for German, but like they have ones that sound similar. Like there's an in German, which would mean like something vertically against something. So like I could say like das Buch ist an der Wasserflasche. Yeah, so it's really confusing. But there's certain ones that go with certain phrases, and even within that, there's different ways that you conjugate them. So with this, I mean that sometimes like the word the changes from den to dame, or the word die changes from die to der. It's just, it can be really confusing, and you really need to know your chart. And I just have a problem like memorizing what preposition is used with what verb in what situation. The hardest thing. Yes, and the last thing I'd like to talk about that I get wrong all the time is using the words like dessen or wessen. So this is when, in German, this is called the genitive case, and as far as I know, this is what kids who grow up in Germany, this is like the conjugation form they learn first, which is surprising because when you learn like German from an outside, it's the last form you encounter. So I thought this was interesting, but genitive is basically used to explain like whose object if it is. Like I would say like Lucas's shirt in English, and in German I would say like dein Hemd. Nah, I can't think of a good example. Yeah, see, I just really can't think of an example. This is how hard it is for me to speak. The genitive case forms. If you can help me figure those things out, that would be great. But I really hope that you've gotten now like an insight into what it's like for two American speakers to learn German as a native language, and seemingly late in life.
It could be worse.
I will also say that pronunciation is sometimes hard. Like I'm always kind of wishing I could lose my American accent and sound like really German, but it's really hard to lose your accent. It really is.
So that's everything that we have for today's video. Make sure to stick around next week. We'll have a little follow-up video to this one. Maybe you can guess in the comments what we'll be talking about. And until then, we'll see you then. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't. If you have friends that haven't subscribed but you think they'll love us, tell them to subscribe. We've just been super excited with all the subscribers and support we've been getting lately, and we'd love to see it continue and see the community grow.
To 2,000. Bye. Mark. Okay, roll the intro. This, for the record, is like take 10.
We've just been super excited with all the support we've been. See, I can't talk.